All right, let's go back to U.S. politics with a guest who has gained considerable notoriety and over 1.3 million Twitter followers by speaking her mind without borders, except maybe on matters of walls and immigrations. Conservative commentator Ann Coulter joins us from New York City. And we're such a contrast up here. We're opening our doors to Syrian refugees and other Middle East refugees. The president you support is banning or pausing immigration and refugee arrivals. What do you see as the effect of these sort of twin solitudes on the relations between Trump and Trudeau in the longer term? Is there going to be a border price to be paid?
Well, you got a lot of catching up to do in Canada. I mean, Canadian immigration policy for decades has been more like what Trump is suggesting, and that is looking at immigration as any other government policy. What's good for the people who already live there. For 50 years, America has been taking the poorest of the poor, the most backward, dysfunctional cultures, and a lot of what got Trump elected was people saying, okay, that's enough. America needs a little me time now. We have our own veterans, our own elderly, our own poor people. In fact, our own immigrants who came in the last decade and the decade before that and the decade before that, which is why the Trump administration and everyone else keeps referring to it as a pause. This isn't hatred for the rest of the world. It's having a pause to take care of the people who are already here.
Okay, but what's the conservative view down there of Canada? We have, our prime minister's tweeted about us being open arms to refugees after the president's pause in immigration. Is that going to cause us trouble, do you think?
Well, looking at what happened to America for the last 50 years and what's happening in Western Europe right now, I might say it would cause some trouble, but you got about 5 decades of total open borders to very different cultures from your own before you're going to be any place where America is, because that's what we've been doing for 50 years now.
I would beg. We have had an awful lot of immigration over many decades here, Ann, but let's talk a little bit about...
Nothing like ours.
Well, we brought more Syrian refugees in last year than the United States did, so we're pretty immigration open and certainly
and for 50
boat
years,
people and...
Yeah, no, you took about 200 Hmong, we took millions. For 50 years, we've been taking more than 1 million immigrants a year, 90% from the third world. You guys got a lot of catching up to do. If I were a Canadian, I wouldn't say that was one of America's best policies. I'm not recommending you emulate it, but I'm just saying, this sudden rush under Trudeau, you're still way behind us.
I'm curious what you thought about Donald Trump today, his call to the Australia Prime Minister. There's talk about this refugee transfer agreement continuing. Republican John McCain rode to the rescue to try and calm it down after this phone hang-up. Does your president in some ways need a lesson in diplomacy when a Five Eyes ally is on the line?
Well, I'm waiting to see what the real story is on that. I keep getting one version from the media and then 12 hours later, oh, that didn't happen at all. I mean, we just got it with the Russian sanctions. So I haven't seen confirmation, maybe it's coming across the transom now, from either the Australian Prime Minister or Trump, that there was any hanging up. But as for the policy being discussed, again, Australia takes these quote, refugees, i.e. people who want to come to a first world country and live off its taxpayers. Americans, a big part of the election was saying, no, we want to take care of our own. And we're not talking about people. I mean, as I wrote in my column this week, there are a lot of misnomers in this refugee business. Among them, the idea that we're taking in people who are fleeing the modern equivalent of the Holocaust. No, I mean, even in the New York Times examples of their most sympathetic cases, we had one an Iraqi with respiratory problems and diabetes who was returning from Iraq after fulfilling his duties as a provincial leader over there. They're not fleeing something. They're coming here because they get free health care, free food, free housing, which is fine. We're a generous nation. We've been more than generous, but we're about at the point of saying we gave at the office.
Okay, but you're talking to Australia, a very strong ally of the United States, a member of the Five Eyes security umbrella, and yet your president hangs up on the guy because he wants to keep an agreement going. Isn't that diplomatically toxic?
Well, for one thing, I'm not believing that he hung up yet. As I say, I suspect that is fake news. I love Australia. I love Canada. I love Britain. I still don't want to be taking more than 1,000 poor people whom we have no responsibility to. I mean, what this immigration scam always runs on is, well, for one thing, American and Canadians, big-heartedness, but particularly in America, we're supposed to treat foreigners as if they're American blacks. Well, no, we have a special relationship with African Americans in this country because of the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. What did we do to the rest of the world? We don't owe them. And yet they show up with a lot of needs and a lot of grievances, and this has been going on a very long time. We just need a little break for a while. Otherwise, there's going to be no lifeboat to put people on.
Do you think this is temporary, or do you think this could be permanent in some cases?
No, I think it's temporary, though my idea of temporary, what I would like it to be, maybe a little longer than yours. But we need to assimilate the ones already here. We need to dust off the books. We need to figure out serious vetting procedures. And also, not only vetting for, is this person likely to shoot up the San Bernardino Community Center, but vetting in terms of, should we really be moving these people out of their country? I mean, you can also hurt other countries around the world by taking, the people that they need to build the country back up again. We want genuine refugees. We want to make sure it wouldn't be better to help them where they are, which we do a lot and we can keep doing. But when they insist on coming here and signing up for Social Security, when half of my party is out there saying we have to reform entitlements, i.e. raise the retirement age, cut benefits. No, how about raise American benefits and let us retire earlier and stop taking in the poor of the world?
You write in various news media. You have a column. Our prime minister just the other day publicly demanded Fox News issue a correction after it tweeted that a shooter in a Quebec City mosque was of Moroccan origin when he was a white university student. They tried twice to get this corrected. What's your reaction to what was done? Should Fox not have been a lot quicker in pulling that erroneous tweet down?
Well, I have absolutely nothing to do with Fox. I don't even follow them on Twitter, so I was unaware of that tweet. But, yeah, of course, incorrect tweets should be corrected.
Okay. Last question. The Donald Trump we've seen in the first 2 weeks, is this the Donald Trump we're going to see for the next 4 years?
Oh, I hope so. It's like Christmas every day. The only problem is, and he warned us about this, is it's getting exhausting winning so much. Just winning, winning, winning every day.
All right. Ann Coulter, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.